Is an emergency posting. Not really, but it's just something that's on my mind, and I was like, I might as well just make a video on it. Okay, so yesterday I shared on Facebook, and I'd made a reel and a TikTok that basically said the same thing, but I said forcing people who don't want to stop using into abstinence doesn't save them, it sets them up to die. Obviously, most people agreed with me because here's the thing, it's not an opinion, it's actually a fact. But I did have a few people who said I disagree. Now, when I talk about the risk of overdose, I'm not saying that everybody who's forced to be abstinent is going to have an overdose, right? But forced abstinence greatly increases the risk of that happening. And it's really, there's a whole bunch of different things that are at play, but the most simplest thing that you can boil it down to is when people are forced abstinence, whether it's, a weekend in jail or 28 days in a program, they have now lowered their tolerance. Because people who are forced to be abstinent, majority of them do pick up again, because they don't have that tolerance anymore, it greatly increases the risk of having an overdose. Now, we also want to add to that, there's certain behaviors that can happen once someone's been forced into abstinence. One being is that they're much less likely to be honest about using again, right? Like, I know for me, when I would get out of treatment and start using again, the last thing I was going to do was tell my parents I was using again, because I knew they were going to put me back in treatment, right? And the thing about, not having people know that you are using, especially with today's illicit drug supply, it's so dangerous because most deadly overdoses occur when a person's alone. Success stories from forced abstinence are not the norm, right? Like, those are the exception to the rule. They're not the rule. And while maybe some of your favorite people in the rooms have a forced abstinence story, or some of your favorite content creators, or just some people that in your life that have a great story about how they were forced into abstinence, and then after that, whether it was prison, jail, their family, then from that was their turning point and everything changed. They are the exception to the rule. Forced abstinence is not the answer.